Okay, good night, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be the second episode of our GOP machine. Just to recap, we are here in DeKalb County, Alabama. My name is This is Wilson Vincent. We are attempting to create a new machine in GOP politics. We are going to start off by right now running for school board. Our opponents are LCV. This is in primary, by the way, just to clarify, it's a primary Republican district. So while Elise Vega is running nice for her, props to her, it is more that key our main competition going to be Augusta Byers and Jed Phillips. Those are the two persons who are going to be some of the more dangerous. Because just so we can look at it, in case y'all don't mean, this school board district is 59% Republican, 30% Independent, 20% Democrat. We, for the most part, I assume we should be fine. Obviously, you can't take it for granted, but I think we should be good once we're in the primary. So what we're gonna do is just to clarify, this is where it's gonna go next turn. You automatically auto save, and then we start running. See, we have $5 in the bank. Just to clarify, she has 330. He had 276, 255. I don't know say about that. So this is where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go here and do some fundraising for 25 hours. I already got $1,000. I'm spending next amount of time door knocking. It made sense to only door knock with Republican independents because those are the main groups I'm looking for. You clearly see my bullet as a 120 holders. And here it tells me three. There one's about universal preschool, one and then two are about school choice. And then so next week, click on that. Next thing I probably should do is I should just drop my event, so dedicate my event. First of all, I have to give some speeches. And that speech at the National Commerce Conglomerate. And then I can spend near 30 hours door knocking. That will increase my local name recognition. Meanwhile, in case you want what's going on here in the news, nothing. State level, just some laws. National level, nothing right now, but state level, probably just a bunch of laws. I can't fill out project just yet, obviously, now. So here we go, next level. You know, just in case y'all wanted, my independent finance only $14. Only $14. I do get money, but that's not for the fundraiser. I don't automatically get money at this level. I'm gonna go here and do another 15 hours of door knocking. Tied in with 15 hours or so of fundraising. And then we go to the events and we give our speeches. And now, mind you, I fully intend to carry a poll, but however, it must be said, polls are very expensive. For example, to basic poll, just vote intentions for $500, more than I can afford right now. But our opponents right now are raised this much money. They're almost saying that we have two. And then we go out again. We are saying fundraising, we're gonna raise $810. We go do some door knocking, we spend next. Give me speeches. Here the thing is where the fun begins. I can officially gonna spend 20 hours. I spending off money. Give me some more speeches, more speeches, and some door knocking. But here's the fun part, look at this. I don't have enough money to carry a poll. 20-person poll, but the problem is I didn't want name recognition proving all those things, but I might have to just, if I do this right, I can do these two. Meanwhile, I am Wilson Vincent. Currently, I have 51% of the Republican vote. Obviously, it's not a Democrat here. And I'm doing best on have the most name recognition, both the same level, but all of us are fairly recognized to the person at this rate as the candidates there. But I currently have a lead. Obviously, you can't be complacent. Any problem, I just siphoned all my money to carry a thing. What I could also do when I get that time next turn, so I go to some more fundraising and I can have do a rally. Now with rallies is more about say spend $10 and say increase the burn turn 6 more people. No, 6 more people might not sound like a lot, but in some of these small districts, 6 more people is a lot of people in some of these districts. If that makes sense. Hold on. Right. So we're gonna go back here. We're gonna go now. Where are we going now? I did my fundraising already. Do some of this, some door knocking. Next week, same thing, more fundraising and door knocking. Did not use obviously and give us a nice speech here. At a certain point in time, speeches are not really relevant right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm trying to concentrate specifically on fundraising and door knocking. Just putting stuff like that. Now mind you probably have enough money for a new poll. We'll wait till next week when we go and do our next fundraising and next door knocking. No, so let me carry out better poll, another poll again. Go this one, try more complete poll. And it has all the things, the pro rating and stuff. We have a lower pro rating than all the other candidates. Very embarrassing. But we still do have the lead. Clear out two candidates have split the votes. Again, just go there. And again, we're doing the same shebang essentially. Fundraising, door knocking. And let's keep doing that. Door knocking, fundraising. And I would say just to clarify all the level at, there's going to be elections going on, primary elections going on for all the different groups, mind you. City council, mayor, all the Senate primary out. This is the same one for local elections for every party in the United States. But justice, obviously, is justice, so there we're currently focusing on right now. And obviously, going to next week, and we repeat the cycle again. But I'm gonna try something new this week. I'm gonna do a rally, which we can increase vote turnout not much, but I might heard go to this, and then we're gonna try this because we're gonna give it an speech, and then we're gonna do an speech again. Just a little basic thing. We carry another poll. Should I don't expect much change, but we can always carry another poll again. Again, if you see our poll, it's slightly slipping, but for the most part, we're in a very commanding lead. And then we focus on another speech. We focus on this. Here our rally carrying just the thing here. And we do more door knocking. Now one week before the primary, here's something very interesting. I will take a little bit of money and see school resolution made Republican issue. And I'll spend about $700 on a TV ad. So, funnily enough, it's increased Democrats' opinion of us, I guess, when you look at. I would have to check the metrics on that level, but it probably seems to be an issue that Democrats are very happy with, which is very funny. I did not expect that to happen. But again, with the week before the primary, we should be set. But just in case, I'll do a little more of that. I'm not gonna look. Now we look at the election. Here we go. See, boom, boom, boom. I was just one, but boom. And again, we won. And interesting enough, we did get a plurality of votes. So even if Byers and Phillips were combined into one person, we still would win. But yeah, to this votes. Aaron Hoy said 18 votes important. That actually 18 votes that we potentially got from vote turnout could always help. It's something like primaries. Now we're going to the thing against Elise Vega, who, mind you, in our primary itself we got more votes than she did. So just tell you how this is gonna go. But then again, nothing can be taken for granted, which I'll almost say here. But that's in case y'all wondering how the rest of the school board primaries went. Persons, this is obviously we're District 1, which had a 3-person split. And we're 2 candidates going on to there. Then the incumbent, Joy Wooden, the one for since 1980, ran on the polls, expected. This one we had two Republicans fighting. Leela Skinner, who is a new person, 35 new person. She beat Cornelius Roberts. Hudson Augustine, the one turn one is back. Mitch Burks beat Augustine Strong again too. But Brian Hyde is the incumbent there in that district already. So that's interesting. Meanwhile, District 6 has a Democratic incumbent. And now see this Republican challenger. He's probably not going to win, but City Council wise, now let's see when I got City Council. Ted Lam beat Felipe Gutierrez. Ted Lam is a no one right now, but he aspired to win his City Council seat, obviously. Wade Rice is one of the older City Council persons who was there for like forever. Chester Young, Hayden Ryan, all these incumbents again back in phrase. So all these incumbents have gotten right. And I'll say the mayoral primaries, the incumbent Knowles got it unopposed, unskipped, unhindered. So that thing, so no incumbent has lost the primaries, which will be very embarrassing, but it has not happened. Another segment now soundbite says nothing here much. And just I'll spend a little more time fundraising for a little second prize on here. Just give it honest time how this is probably gonna go. Cash and money, then goes to the polls. Boom. B. Boom. 57-42, which based on the district metrics are 59, 28, and 13. So what appears to happen is that I think it's because I chose a very conservative path. Is that I want to Georgina Hyde? She just ran out. She just left. Interesting. Right. The game seemed, because I guess because I chose to be a very conservative Republican, the game modeled and placed in almost all the independents as well as a small group of Republicans to join this wide coalition against me. But still, I think it should be fine. Mind you, we're just gonna keep going now. Not saying this interviews now happening. Just go here and more door knocking. We have 26 before the election, so we're just gonna continue. I'll say obviously go on. Just clarify more projects, no can't fail thing yet. You do have all these things here. State your policies. There is a support for candidate policies here at 47% of Democrats, 69% Republican, and 58% of independent support my policies on education. That's not necessarily they're going to vote for me, obviously. I'll see here by the poll there that was showcased it there earlier, but it's just always fun to look at. And here you actually can see the issues. The total of 5 Republicans plus 3 Independents plus 2 Democrats. That's it. Teacher salary, community college, but on the issue of school choice, Democrats seem to like school choice. They have free college tuition. There's a plurality of person who doesn't seem to like it. Who support my policy on it as opposed to, I guess, my opponent. And right now we're just gonna go on automate. I'll flip this a little bit, go to take about 10%. And let's do something like that. That's just an easy way of cleaning out goals. That's just always easy part. Take current elections like this. Now, obviously, I will advise for obviously other more important elections, more swing elections, where you know the slight chance of you losing our primary thing coming being harder. I advise obviously not just to assume from which I'm doing, which I probably shouldn't, but for the purposes, I'm just gonna do that. And zoom, and zoom, and zoom, and zoom, and zoom. I could go over here. Actually, no, I can't do that anymore. I forgot that if I was in the campaign cycle, I believe I could go to this part. It says the advanced time. But when I get to my campaign cycle, it won't go to advanced time. and just the interesting thing is that by doing this up in my war chest, what's very important was that I'm not gonna spend all this money in this cycle. But I set for a poll here or there. I'm just do a slight poll here saying what's the verdict. I have an even bigger lead. But for the most part, you want to keep as much money in your war chest as possible, because then when you campaign for your next election or for higher office, you already have this money in your war chest. Here, that could be helpful, particularly if you're facing like an opponent who might not raise money previously. So that's always important. Just going through the cycle here in 12 weeks, 10 weeks, 9 weeks. There's something out here that's speaking about primary debates. Those are not really the most important to me because they're Democratic debates. But just so we can see who's running for president, we have the Senator from Pennsylvania, Elder, a conservative Democrat. Interesting. We have Don Beasley, a moderate Democrat from Washington, the chair of the Homeland Security Committee. Dale Walton, a moderate Democrat from New Jersey, chair of the Environmental Committee. Lillian Leher, the governor of Massachusetts. Kent Lange, the governor of Illinois, and a former state senator and state representative. Gavin Robertson, the mayor of Reno, Nevada. Paul English, the mayor of Springfield, Massachusetts. Charlotte Scott, a former CEO of an architecture firm who is funny. Right, so that's kind of how elections will go. You will have some senators, a couple governors, a couple mayors. So also if Republicans say, you will say have, actually I could probably, no I can't. On Republicans say, if I check correctly here, right, there's no Republican primary because I think just the president running. But on Republican side, you will have senators from red. You have a few Republican senators, a couple Republican governors, mayors from 2 or 3 major Republican metro areas. Think maybe something like Jacksonville, some major Republican metro areas, and then you have a random civilian person, random non-politician who's there running. Okay, so this election is gonna finish pretty shortly. Next few weeks, just keep boosting. Here we have a non-Democratic primary. They're talking here about economic policy, and you can see what some of their issues are. That she wants to tax the rich. He wants to tax the rich. He wants to return to higher tax rates for the rich. Sounds like taxing the rich to me, but anywho. Same thing. Same thing. You're speaking about the minimum wage, which is not an issue that's going to be there. Tax rate tax. So we see what their policies are. Now this is a basic poll in case you want to care. Now I wanted to make sure I'm clear. I should be fine. Home stretch cruising 56.43. Nothing much there. I can afford to keep all my money for next election cycle. Go, and then here we go. Boom. Now you will see here that it ended at 56.43. Pretty sorry, so I'll still probably expect a little bit more, but then whatever the case, good win. Here's a little message. You did a good job. New term begin first year next year. Blah 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 blah. Then here comes saying then you get a message from your campaign opponent if you win, saying you have to choose card to win. Blah blah. I would never say thanks to your worthy opponent, but it's nice. And here you go. For the next couple of weeks, you just wait. You just go. You can watch primary and what's not. Attending the Thanksgiving parade is always helpful in boosting your name recognition, I believe. And then you just go on more debates. Don't feel like watching those, it's a waste of time. And then you go Now it's the end of the year and it tells you the brief overview what's happening next year. State House, State Senate, House, Senate, President. After B2 you'll see the incumbents which not see re-election. You can check your district tabs, which should be this and that. Also you can see who dropped out of the debate. So Charlotte Scott, who was the person who did not the architect from there, she dropped out on it. Very expected, mind you. And then also you can see what's happening, what happened all last year. And then you can just see the election cycle here. Nothing really much going on. Right, and then so you go here, you click. Now then this is what it does tell you you're welcome to the new first term of the school board members. Obviously you got challenged to create legislation, all those fun stuff. And then you see the city laws that take effect. You limited that, you limited that. They create a flat tax, all the same national laws, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so next episode is when we'll actually start running the school member and playing some legislation that might support. I try and move some presidential that might be there if I didn't support it. And then seeing how the presidential election goes and what I might want to do in as it relates to running. So say goodbye. Bye.